So which fragrance did I wear the most in July of 2018? In this video, I'll tell you what they are. We're doing it a little different this month also. I'm doing 7 and we'll continue forward doing 7 of my most worn fragrances per month. So please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. If this is your first time on this channel and you love watching fragrance reviews, finding out about new fragrances, discovering new brands, participating in giveaways, and still haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe by clicking the button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. Yeah, so I wanted to switch it up a little bit this month, and since there were those accusations that I stole this idea from somebody, going forward I'll just do 7 fragrances. It's not necessarily 5, it's not necessarily 10, something in the middle. And you know, I do wear a lot of fragrances and I would love to let you know every single one of them to you. So that's what this is going to be. So 7 fragrances. And what happens is a lot of times I'm realizing the most I wear are fragrances that I'm testing out to review. So a lot of these are fragrances, I guess all of them. Some of them I reviewed already that you've already seen reviews of. Some that have just been reviewed, and some that I've reviewed some in the past. But several of them I've either just reviewed or put up a video about it, or will be putting up a video about it very soon. But I've been testing them out and enjoying these. But the first one I wanted to tell you about is a fragrance from the house of Mugler that recently I found out was discontinued. So my bottle was getting really, really low. I looked on Mugler's website and it's no longer listed. So it is definitely discontinued. I'm talking about Mugler's Amen Ultra Zest, this one right here. This is unfortunately discontinued. It is gone. It's no longer on Mugler's website. So if you are a fan of Mugler's Ultra Zest, be sure to buy your bottle if you don't have it yet, if you've been using a decant or a sample, or if you need a backup bottle, because I mean, there's a potential that in a few years Mugler will put it back out and re-release it, but for now it's discontinued. I think it's no longer going to be sold. And this happens to be one of my favorite fragrances, and this is number 7. I just picked up a bottle last month earlier, and I've been wearing it, and I was thinking, gosh, since I did mention about the reviews that I had on the previous channel I might make live, I might make another video about this, just letting everybody know that this is discontinued and you guys should pick it up. But this I love because it's the Mugler DNA with bright, juicy, zesty blood orange and orange notes. Something very, very unique, something I thought might not work, but it works so well. And this has actually turned out to be like a top 5 Mugler, you know, traditional men's line of fragrances fragrance. It's really, really good. It's even better than Crypto Mint, although Crypto Mint kind of comes close, but this is the best out of the 2. So this is Ultra Zest by Mugler. It's Amen Ultra Zest. Really, really solid release. Love this one. Do get it if you don't have it and you've been wanting it, because pretty soon you won't be able to find it. I think people will be snatching up bottles. So Ultra Zest is number 7. Now this next one is a fragrance I reviewed several months ago, finally for the first time on the channel. But in the past, on the older channels, I started a fragrance video called Aventus Killers. This is Aventus, but at that time I was very new at the game of fragrance reviews, and I was not spending a lot of money on fragrances as I had other hobbies I was doing, and I would dedicate my money to that or those other hobbies, whereas now I mostly dedicate all my hobby money to fragrances. So I put out a review for Aventus by Creed several months ago, and this one I've been enjoying a lot. So as you can see, we're starting out with the sort of freshies, the first 2, then it's going to get deeper. But I like this one because I do test a lot of fragrances out, and then when I shower, I want to wash it all off and wear something simple, because I'm already overwhelmed with the sense of smell with all the more intense fragrances. So I want something light, but I want to smell good still. So this is one that you can just wear very easily. It's a no-nonsense scent. It's a compliment getter, a crowd pleaser, and it's one of those fragrances that you can just put on and walk away. You smell great, and you don't have to think about, you know, overwhelming people with it. And I love it in the summertime, especially when it's warm. So this is number 6 most worn of July. Aventus by Creed. Who doesn't love Creed's Aventus? Even, what's his name? Luca Turin gave it a 4-star review. So people do like this one, even though it's not anything special. So number 5 is a fragrance I reviewed several weeks ago. I think I reviewed it towards the end of July. But I had it for a while and I was testing it because it is one of the most complex fragrances. Probably one of the most expensive fragrances that I've ever reviewed on this channel. It is a luxury house fragrance. This is DIAGHILEV from ROJA Parfums. A little goes a long way with this one. So I wore this one a lot because I was testing this one out. I just needed to figure the fragrance out. It just is so complex and so detailed. Like, you need to get the details out. So I was wearing it. And I was only spraying 1 spray, maybe 2 sometimes, because you don't need to spray too much with this one. And I just loved it. I love it, and people seem to love it. I mean, there are the haters out there who go, well, you know, they already got Mitsuko, which is this is inspired after, that are kind of like the haters. You know, everybody's or everything's gonna have a hater. I have haters, but I love this one. It is utterly gorgeous. It is just truly beautiful, and a little goes a long way. But I wore a lot of it in July because, as I said, I was learning this fragrance, and I needed to know. I needed to get to the bottom of this one. So this is my number 5 most worn fragrance of July, DIAGHILEV by ROJA Parfums. Very, very pricey fragrance, very, very luxury fragrance. Check it out if you can. Get a sample, or perhaps a decant if somebody's splitting. All right, the next one is a fragrance that will be shown or reviewed very soon on the channel, and the one I've been testing for a while. Actually, this one I've been testing since I put out the video 25 of Aquatic and Beachy fragrances video. This was sent to me by Francesca Bianchi. This is Sex and the Sea, this one right here. So this one is truly beautiful. It's an oriental, but a coconutty oriental. It's kind of like a fragrance you think a beachy fragrance is going to be, but it's not quite that. It's actually, you know, you're away from the water, you're away from the crowd, and you're probably like somewhere near the cliffs. There's some corners to be quiet and private, and you're there and you're, you know, doing it with somebody. That's exactly what this is. You're picking up the smell of this burned skin, the coconut smell out of the suntan lotion, the sea, the sand, and all of that stuff all mixed together. The bodies, I don't know. That's the kind of fragrance I get from Sex and the Sea, and it is exactly that. It's actually, I like this one. It's definitely not your typical beachy, as I said. It's a lot more intense, a lot more deep, a lot more rich. You got lots of vanilla and resinous notes in here as well, and I love it. I love it. And this one, again, is an extrait de parfum, very, very intense, so you only need a few sprays. But as you can see, I've been using quite a bit of it as I was learning it. So stay tuned for the review for that one. But if you don't know it, do check it out, because I highly recommend that one. I think it's my favorite of the, tied with, no, I think it's definitely one of my favorites from this house. It's really, really a lovely fragrance. All right, so number 3, we're going to another one that I recently reviewed, and this one, damn, it's so good. It is it's not, I guess this one I discovered sort of late because it's been around since 2002, but the review just went up a few weeks ago. This is for a fragrance called TOLU by ORMONDE JAYNE. It is utilizing the TOLU balsam as a dominant note, and man, it is truly gorgeous. But what I like about this one, it's an oriental, but it doesn't act like it. So the two fragrances are completely different. The thing I like about, they're both orientals, by the way, but the thing I like about ORMONDE JAYNE, if I want something like intense and heavy but doesn't come off heavy, is when I go for this line, because everything has this like transparency or translucency about them. So there's like this light sheen, even though you're smelling all these like intense scents and notes, the fragrance doesn't weigh down, it doesn't get heavy, which I don't mind that at all. But sometimes you want that lightness, you want the airiness and the transparency, the translucency, as I was saying, and that's exactly what this is. This is a truly, truly beautiful late discovery again, but one that I will cherish forever. It's one of those fragrances that I absolutely love, and I wore a lot of it because I was, studying this one. I was learning about TOLU balsam and all that kind of stuff. So I needed to get to the bottom of this one. So I wore this one a lot back then. So July, number 3, most worn fragrance is TOLU by ORMONDE. Got another designer finally. This one is a review I did for a month or so ago, but I've been enjoying it since I reviewed it, and I really, really love this one. And I love the second incarnation of this one because it was launched once back in 2016. And they did it as a limited run and they put it away. Now they brought it back in a new bottle. It is Ombre Leather by Tom Ford. It used to be called Ombre Leather 16 because it was launched in September 2016. But this one I really enjoy for the fact that it's a beautiful, sexy leather. Not overwhelming, not intense, not heavy like Tuscan leather, but this is also not a wimp. It does have legs. I mean, it smells a little different. People say it's like identical to Tuscan leather. I do get differences. There are definitely differences here, and I like that about it. Tuscan leather is way over intense. I get anosmic to it when I spray that one. This one I don't get anosmic to, and I can still pick it up on me. Still lasts a great long time, and I love that. I love the new bottle as well, so do check it out. This is my number 2 most worn fragrance of July 2018, and this is Ombre Leather by Tom Ford. Last but not least, it's the fragrance that I fell in love with late last year when I was given a small decant of it. And I have a review coming up for this one. But again, the complexity of this, it's a floral fragrance, of this fragrance required me to study it a lot, so I've been wearing it a lot. But the review will launch within the next week or so. This is Fleur de LALITA from Parfume DUSITA. Absolutely one of the most beautiful and truly stunning fragrances, truly stunning floral fragrances, because that's what this is. Perfect fragrance to wear in the heat also. I've been using it a lot in the heat. And the fragrance just comes alive. It's like this big blast of a bouquet of flowers that somebody throws at you in physical floral form, and all you get is the perfume of it and sprayed in your face. Sexy as well, so sexy. It has this musky dry down. It's very, very green, so you're picking up the flowers, but you're also picking up the green notes along with it. So you get leaves and stems and branches or whatever. Just, man, beautiful. It is unisex, but I think some men might find this to be feminine. It is definitely all about flowers. You've got to love flowers to love this one. And me, within the last year, I've really been opening up to flowers. For me, this year and the late last year has been all about floral fragrances and aquatic and beachy fragrances, which at one time I was really shy about these fragrance styles, as I thought I just couldn't deal with them. But now I've embraced them so much that I'm actually shocked by myself that I'm embracing these styles of fragrances. But you know what? Getting exposed to a lot of fragrances happens, so you get to open up. Your palate opens up, and you start appreciating everything. I don't really hate a lot of things. A lot of things I don't like are things like animalic, too intense, and of course I hate too intense aquatics, and I hated overly strong floral fragrances. So next up is animalics, I think. But I think animalics are a separate thing. I don't know if I can tolerate animalics as much because it's really becomes heavy. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. But right now, floral fragrances are to die for. And this is one of the best examples or best forms of floral fragrances. So check it out. Fleur de LALITA by Parfume DUSITA. My review for this one will launch very soon, so stay tuned for that. And that pretty much wraps up my list, my 7 most worn fragrances of July 2018. Guys, what are your thoughts about these fragrances? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you wish you have them, or you despise them or something if you're not into them at all? And what are your thoughts about the discontinued Amen Ultra Zest? Do you have a bottle? Let me know. Put a comment down. Let me know if you like these fragrances or not. Let's get a conversation started. Also, please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.